Hey friends, welcome back to Rita Talks. I'm Rita, and on this YouTube channel, I just share some of the thoughts, ideas that I've been thinking about, some of the things that have been going on in my life. And I'm filming this video only probably like 6 hours after my previous video, since I filmed that one in the afternoon. God, yeah, honestly, today just was super cool. I listened to this podcast episode on the Lex Friedman podcast by someone who we don't hear very often on podcasts, and that's Jeff Bezos. And I thought the podcast episode was very interesting because I think he has such a unique way of viewing the world, and it's just something that, like, it's just an ideology that we need to keep reinstilling in ourselves. And it's something that people that are not that senior in any company don't basically link to their day-to-day lives, and basically this constant reminder of this ideology is just so helpful. And I just feel like I want to go back and listen to that podcast again because it was so insightful. And probably my favorite thing that he mentioned on the podcast, I have two favorite things. The first one is that efficiency and invention are at odds. So basically, in order to truly invent something new, not talking about small improvements, you need to be inefficient and you need to allow yourself to wander and try different things out that looks from the outside to be completely inefficient, that you're wasting your time. But that's how you come up with the breakthroughs, and that's something that really has resonated with me because it's something that basically it's a good reminder, basically, to not, I mean, to allow for some serendipity in my life, and not be so hard on yourself when basically you allow your mind to wander. And I have this tendency to wander a lot and just go down really like some rabbit holes that I just think are super interesting. Like think about a lot of things and like explore a lot of things, which sometimes is inefficient. I mean, there's obviously a balance to be stricken here, as with all things, and I know I'm using this phrase a lot, but I genuinely believe that in a lot of things in life, moderation is the hard thing, and so there always is a sweet spot to be found in any type of behavior, and any behavior taken to the extreme is 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 bad. Basically, it's not the behavior that's bad; it's taking it to the extreme that's bad. And yeah, just that's the first idea that I really resonated with. The second one is what he talked about avoiding the day two mentality. So if you're not familiar with Amazon and stuff like this, the day two mentality, like basically there is always the saying that this is day one, it's always day one. And basically it's a reminder to not get complacent. And basically he talked about, like how to fight off the day two mentality, which basically is complacency that sets in. And probably one of my favorite things that he talked about, which actually I have been thinking about separately, was this idea to be wary of what are they called? Proxies. Proxies are something to be wary of. Let me try and find what was the exact phrasing of what he said, because I took some notes of it. Yeah. Basically, hold a skeptical view of proxies, because basically what happens is that someone who, like, basically is studying something comes up with a metric, some sort of proxy for a goal that they're optimizing towards, and they know how this metric and this proxy are linked. But then, as organizations age, etc., people forget the reason that proxy exists, and they just start optimizing for the metric and not for the actual behavior. And basically people just keep on optimizing for stuff that they don't know even why they exist. They're just optimizing for it because that's how we do it in in the organization. And this is just like such a powerful idea that proxies, like, to be very very wary and skeptical of proxies, because there's nothing worse than proxies, and like not understanding the reason behind the proxies. And that's what happens basically in societies. Like there was this example of the monkeys. So basically they have the monkey population of 10 monkeys in some um, like so psychological experiment. I don't know how to call that, but like in a study. And basically they put a ladder, and I don't remember what was the book or like the reference for this, but you can probably look it up. You put a ladder in the middle of the room. At the top of the ladder, there's a bunch of bananas. Okay, so every time a monkey would try to climb up the ladder, I think they would spill water on all of the monkeys, or on the monkey who tried to climb up the ladder. And basically they just learned this behavior that it's not good to try to climb up the ladder to get the bananas, right? And so basically what they did is that they took out one monkey at a time. So from the original population, they kept on replacing just one monkey at a time until there was no monkey from the original population, and they brought in new monkeys. And the new monkeys, like, basically, if any new monkey that saw the bananas and tried to climb up to them, they would actually beat them up. Like, the other monkeys would actually beat the monkey up because of this belief that they had constructed from the past, because they were beaten up when they first were introduced to the population, without actually knowing the reason behind that. And that's where dogma sets in, and that's why proxies are so dangerous. When you forget the reason that a proxy exists, they become very very dangerous. And yeah, I don't know if I told that story correctly, but I think I hope you get the point. So basically, like, they rotated out the monkeys until there was no monkey left, but the behavior stayed ingrained in the society, even though no one understood why that behavior was there in the first place. And in the end, actually, they stopped, like, they probably would have let any monkey who, like, go up the ladder. It's just like the people leading the experiment, but it's just that the monkeys in the experiment were the ones preventing any new person from going up the ladder. And this is basically just a representation of the status quo. Like, when a status quo sets in, people fail to search for, like, they lose the connection between the proxy and, like, the behavior and the reason behind the behavior, and they just start to replicate the behavior because that's how it has always been. And that's basically how you get into a day two mentality, and that's how you get complacent. So yeah, I just thought that was very very interesting. Another interesting idea that he brought up is that Lex Friedman asked him about large language models, generative AI, and stuff like this. And basically he talked about something very interesting, is that basically LLMs in their current form are not inventions, they're discoveries. As in, he gave this basically a parallel between like a telescope is an invention, but then when you use the telescope to look at the planets and you find a new planet, then the new planet is a discovery. And basically he described that LLMs are in the stage of discovery because we don't know what they can do. The telescope is there, like the technology is here, but we actually have not fully explored the potential of large language models. And basically they are discoveries like every time, like we don't know what their limits are. And basically we're constantly testing and trying out how we can use them and things like this. And that has really resonated because like with me, because I've really been thinking about these ideas of large language models and things like this, and implementing them in my work and things like that. So yeah. Also, something that I'm very excited about this weekend is that I have 0 classes, which means I have the whole weekend for myself to work on my promo doc and to work on the documents that I need to finish. And I will probably go on some nice walks, which I missed, and just work out and spend some time wandering, as Jeff Bezos basically recommends or like likes to do. I mean, like that's the thing, is that it's a bit weird to say, but like these behaviors, they resonate so much because it's not as if he invented these things. Just he discovered them for himself, and I think every single one of us has had an experience with these sorts of behaviors. That's why when someone who's successful by external metrics, when they talk about these behaviors, it's as if they give them a stamp of approval and they start to own them, but he doesn't really own wondering and like all of this thinking. He's just proven that this stuff works, and that's why people associate the behavior with him. But like if you go from first principles, like I think we've all I mean, I certainly have experienced these things without being aware that this was how this guy thought, but just from intuition. And it's just so satisfying to hear that someone that lots of people look up to, that's very successful, basically has these behaviors, and as if it gives them this stamp of approval. But yeah, it's always very interesting, and obviously something only resonates if you've had some sort of experience with it. So yeah, that's probably why these things resonated with me. Anyway, I think at this point I'm probably rambling, so I'm just gonna call it a day for now. I'm just gonna go get some sleep, get some rest, and yeah, enjoy my weekend actually. So thanks a lot for tuning in. You can click here to watch my previous video on this channel, so the one right before this one, or you can click here to watch my latest video on the channel overall. I hope you have a fantastic rest of day, night, whichever time of day it is where you are right now. Bye for now, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye bye!